What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the Texas Rangers report. And before we get into the video, 73% of you guys that watch this channel aren't subscribed, so make sure you do that right now and subscribe to Texas Rangers report, because got you covered all off season and during the season. And there's also a Discord for this channel. It's in the description down below. Go join the Discord and we can talk Texas Rangers whenever you're not watching these videos as well. So yesterday I made a trade proposal for Matt Olson, because before the lockout, the Rangers showed interest in the first base slugger from Oakland. However, they also showed interest in some starting pitchers from Cincinnati, most notably Luis Castillo, Sonny Gray, and Tyler Mahle. Okay, so let's break this down. On this trade proposal, I'm going to be going after Luis Castillo. Let's just break this down. All those starting pitchers have 2 years of team control remaining, and the oldest one is Sonny Gray. He's 32. The most expensive one is Sonny Gray at $10 million, and he has a club option next year for $15 million. Luis Castillo has arbitration for these next 2 years. He's 28, and Tyler Mahle has arbitration for the next 2 years, and he's 27. The guy that just came off the best year last year was Tyler Mahle. Although he doesn't have the best track record, the guy with the best track record will probably be Sonny Gray. Although the guy with the most upside and the ace level stuff will probably be Luis Castillo. And I know the Rangers really want to fill in the ballpark next year. That's why they went after Corey Seager and Marcus Stemien. I still can't believe that that's real. I still have doubts about the starting rotation and the outfield. Although, even if we rolled with Nate Lowe next year, I think that infield's solid, because I do believe in Josh Young. But the outfield and the starting rotation is questionable. So going after Luis Castillo makes sense. In my opinion, his agent is not Scott Boras, so an extension could be worked out with Luis Castillo. What would the Rangers have to give up? He was on a down year last year, although it's still going to be a lot. The Cincinnati Reds want to give up. The Cincinnati Reds are doing everything to just get rid of salary. So I think the Rangers could take on a player to get rid of some salary for the Cincinnati Reds. So I have the Texas Rangers taking Luis Castillo and longtime Cincinnati Reds first baseman Joey Votto. He has a big contract for the next 2 years. He could be a nice option if we don't get Matt Olson. He slugged his entire career, and he could honestly go and play DH for the Texas Rangers. And he could also honestly go and play a good first base as well. I know he has a no trade clause, but he can always say, okay, I want to go play for a contending team, because obviously Cincinnati is not trying to contend. They're getting rid of their best players to just get a cheap team. So would they trade Joey Votto? I actually think they might, because of the contract, and Joey Votto may not want to play there because they're not fielding a competitive team, because they got rid of Wade Miley. They traded Tucker Barnhart. They're wanting to trade their top 3 guys in their rotation. And even if you go and get Matt Olson, you could still have Joey Votto and Matt Olson. So I think that could work out. So what would the Rangers have to give up? I do think you'd have to give up Dane Dunning to replace Luis Castillo in the rotation, because he's a cheap guy. The Reds would get him for a decent amount of time. And then you would have to tap into the Rangers' depth in the infield. I do think you'd have to give up Ezekiel Duran, the guy we got in the Joey Gallo trade from the Yankees at the trade deadline. And I do think you'd have to give up Davis Wendell. Although I do think the perks of taking on Joey Votto's contract is that it lessens the impact that the Rangers have to give to the Cincinnati Reds, because I think that the Reds would be more than happy to give up Joey Votto's contract and take a lesser prospect haul just to get rid of the contract. I know Joey Votto's a long time Cincinnati Reds fan favorite, But if they're willing to get rid of that contract, I think the owners would be more than happy to get rid of that contract And for the Rangers, we have a lot of money to give out, because going into this offseason, we had $30 million on the books. And even after the signings of Simeon and Seager, we still have a decent amount to spend. And after that, I still think you can go after a Kershaw and an outfielder. So, what do you think about that deal? I'm personally, if you do that, I would miss Dunning. I don't think Dunning could ever really become an ace. Maybe at most a top, a number 3 guy in the rotation. The biggest thing that I wouldn't like about this trade is the Ezekiel Duran going to the Cincinnati Reds. I think that's the guy that gets the deal done, okay? And the trade from yesterday, I had Justin Foscue in it for Matt Olson, and I think that's what gets the deal done. However, that's frustrating to see. Although, if you got an ace like Luis Castillo, you'd have Luis Castillo. Let's say you sign Clayton Kershaw, and you have John Gray at the number 3. And let's just say you slot in Taylor Hearn at number 4. You could go out and sign somebody, or you could say Glenn Otto, you could be the number 5. Or you could have Spencer Howard be the number 5. Or AJ Alexy. Some of the guys I don't think are quite ready. That's kind of why giving up Dane Dunning kind of hurts, because obviously I think he's a really good guy that can start for the Rangers next year. Although that's why I don't think next year's the best year to say let's go straight for the playoffs. I think 2023 is really good, because I think Cohen will be Major League ready. I think Jack Leiter will be Major League ready. Glenn Otto and all those prospects will have another year under their belt, like Spencer Howard, AJ Alexy, Yari Rodriguez. All those guys will be closer or have another year of seasoning under their belt. But Davis Wenzel, he didn't play the best, and he might be roadblocked by all the infield prospects. I'd be more than happy to give him up for Luis Castillo and Joey Votto. But Dane Dunning and Ezekiel Duran will hurt. But what do you guys think about this trade proposal? Because we will get a slugger in Joey Votto, no question about that. Future Hall of Famer. And then we get an ace in Luis Castillo. But just like Matt Olson, only 2 years of team control under their belt. So we would have to extend them, or would lose them to free agency most likely. Or would you rather them go after a less expensive trade piece, or we'd have to give up less capital? Would you rather them go after Sonny Gray or Tyler Mahle? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for staying to the very end. Like this video, subscribe, check out the Discord, and I'll see you in the next one.